Hey everybody, it's Last Robokai here, and it's time for the second episode of Face of My Remnants, Bylong in the Crimson Demon DLC. Last time, we introduced to the premise of the entire thing, and that is, children are being spirited away, which is a fairly nice Japanese term for children have gone missing and are presumed dead. And joining me on Iori and Saber's hunt for where the hell these children have gone is, of course, Cool Guy.
Yo yo.
Unfortunately, we know very little, except that there is a giant bird monster. There is a guy walking around looking for a giant bird monster, and this thing can seize ley lines. And the last little weird thing that happened at the end of the last episode is that Yusha Setsu has been turned into, like, a small child.
Even smaller child than she already was.
Yeah, so that's kind of a problem. There are a lot of problems, and we're going to have yet more problems shortly, so let's get stuck straight in. Of course, we're not playing as Saber and Iori now. We're skipping to an entirely different set of characters for an entirely related set of adventures.
I'm sure it'll all make sense in the end, except for the parts where it doesn't, but, you know, this game's actually pretty good about that.
正面切って戦いを挑みに来たといった様子には見えんが
いずれはそれも辞さずだけれどまだその時ではないでしょう今日はただ近くに用事があったまでのことついでに赤坂でご飯でもとちまきに満頭月餅ラオチュ
Dude, like I found this one pop up food truck with some friggin' steamed pork buns. The other day was the greatest find of my entire month.
Oh, nice. There's a place that does pork buns near me. I really need to try.
Berserker. Akasaka まで出張ってくる用事とは
近頃吉原で相次ぐ
Yeah, like I said, last time, Musashi's on the hunt.
あなたたちも噂くらいは聞いているかしら
Musashi being on the hunt for children is not quite the phrasing I was expecting today, but, you know, whichever.
And entirely in character.
その件か手の者から報告は受けている今のところ赤坂の町は至って平穏だ神隠しの噂なども立ってはいない
But I'm expecting
騒
things
ぎ
to
といえ
change
ば
soon.
そうさな昨日町の外れに強い魔力を感じたのだがその程度英月の儀においては別段珍しいことでもあるまい
確かにそれはそうねはぐれの英霊や怪異
Monsters, ghosts, traveling rogue swordsmen.
手がかりなし
Frickin' everything in the kitchen sink coming out to play because this waxing moon ritual is is managed like a freaking preschool.
あーちゃん大事はないか
万全とは言えん
It's like another ley line got yoinked.
おそらく何者かが霊脈の支配を強奪したのだろ
う霊脈の支配なるほどだから私は無事ってわけ誰の仕業かは気になると
Due to Musashi's unique nature, she doesn't need to rely on the ley lines or even her master's energy. There is a degree of autonomy a lot of servants can get, archers in particular, which allows them to operate far from a master and far from a connection of a master. But Musashi's one is pretty powerful.
It's just rich girl privilege.
Pretty much.
まさか飯代の前払いだと思って手を貸してくれ
言われなくとも何やら新たな強者新たな英霊の参戦と見たこれは何とも血がたぎるというものです
You ever spent any time thinking about who this funny fellow might be?
Not really. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like something that we haven't really talked about because I want to make a big deal out of it is that I actually had spinal surgery 2 weeks ago, and that has definitely taken mental energy away from thinking about the LP. You know, while I'm not actively commentating on it. To be clear, the reason why we didn't say anything is because everybody expected everything to be fine, and it is. Fine, nothing further needs to be said. But, you know, like, it is relevant on this.
He's making excuses, everybody.
Yeah, sure, that's what we're gonna call it.
霊脈の支配を奪われたせいだろ
Don't think I've forgotten. I'm still gonna make you do that guessing game.
Yep, and don't think I've forgotten. I still think I'm gonna do terrible at it, but, you know, whichever. Like, if I do terrible at it, then everybody's gonna have a really good time and how lucky I got during the Let's Play proper.
Yeah, but when the ley lines ain't working, the master-servant connection still functions pretty well. And fortunately, Zheng has actually got a pretty decent clutch of it. If how much he was able to sort of pour into Caster and survive during the second ending is anything to go by.
It is something that has been alluded to before. Only has a bit of a mana reserve.
奥の手ださ焼き払え
As he fights with a spear, he's asking about the location of the young prince.
へえいずこのごぼうになら
よかろ
Just interrupt her.
う無限の賭け
I have this real bad habit of just like not letting dialogue play out. I'm just like, oh, the pun's ready. Here I go.
Honestly, like she was simply saying something that anybody with one functioning eye could have seen. So it's fine.
ライダーという線もあるな
But yes, he does have a little bit more to his kit than just the spear.
人は一戦
And Zheng appears to think he's Chinese.
He has a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, spear and a horse, talking to the young prince, younger
心
than
当たり
that.
があるようだろう
Yeah. Looks like Zhou has a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
そうやすやすと下せるような相手ではない
I'm having a brain fart right now.
さて
But so you know, I'm not going to lever a particular thought on the matter. But yeah, like I can read the clues. It's just that I'm having difficulty putting them together.
Well, believe it or don't, we didn't say this particular character's name, but we have actually made a reference and joked about him. Believe it or don't. I'll save that for the reveal, though.
All right, I get the feeling the reveal's coming here pretty soon, huh?
I will never reveal my secrets. He just keeps throwing his horse at me. Stop shooting your horse at me, man.
Oh, right. That's not young Guan Yu, is it?
No, it's not young
Right.
Guan Yu.
I was just trying to think about the romance of the three kingdoms characters that we've joked about, and I'm just like, wait, no. Guan Yu has to have a beard. That would be so freaking awful if he didn't have a beard. Not just a beard, like a glorious
つもり
beard.
はみじんもないと見た上等ええそちらがそのつもりなら私もとことんやり合いましょうその上で私が勝つ
待ってくれバーサーカーここは私に任せてもらいたいライダー今一度問う貴殿は何故我らに刃を向ける
語るまでもないおとなしく和子様を差し出せばよし差し出さぬのなら力ずくで取り戻すまで
知らぬと言っても聞く耳は持たんかならば聞き方を変えるとしよう諸葛孔明の懐刀と称えられた貴殿が何
I think you've got it now, don't you?
Yeah. Right hand of Zhuge Liang is basically the biggest one. Yeah, Zhao
趙雲
Yun.
殿
Zhao Yun. Yes.
趙雲あの超支流か
他でもない定山の超支流だ問答無用で襲ってくる
Having a young version of Zhao Yun feels sacrilegious somehow. Sorry.
しかし
he stuck around for quite a while in the story of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, it's still like he was never really in the spotlight until Zhuge Liang was in the spotlight. He was pushing middle age by then. Let's put it that way.
Although one of his most famous feats, of course, is the rescuing of Liu Bei's wife and son.
Right.
A feat that is described to have been a solo effort, which makes it even more incredible. I think we're going to get a chance to play with him now.
It's also like I also frankly didn't expect him to be portrayed as a rider. Like that makes plenty of sense, but a lancer definitely would have made more sense to me. It's another thing that kind of messed with me.
And for those wondering, Bailong actually means white dragon.
Lone charge at Shangban.
Which is, of course, the fated moment that he fought his way to to safety with Liu Bei's wife and son, only for Liu Bei to toss the child away. It was also like a moment in the lead up to it where everyone was kind of suggesting that he might have gone to the enemy or been captured or something, and Liu Bei was said to have basically told all of them they were full of shit and stupid, didn't know what they were talking about, that he'd be back. And he did come back.
And then as to what Robokai is referencing, he basically football spiked the child to emphasize, you're that important to me. Don't go doing something stupid like that again, because you are that important to me. And it's one of those things that I'm sure was supposed to sound really good, but really just kind of it really goes to show that Liu Bei was not the good guy that he frequently portrayed himself.
Yeah. What am I have been sort of reading a manga that's kind of like a different take on the whole Three Kingdoms stuff. And in that particular scene, he just kind of rolls the baby aside. He doesn't hurl it. So it's just kind of that probably might have
that would have gone over, I think, a lot better both because to be clear, it's not just people in modern times that have a problem with that scene. It was something that the dynasty that replaced Cao Cao's even went through the trouble of saying, remember, Liu Bei did this shit. Even relative contemporaries were just like, this is some bull crap.
It's so funny. Just the baby dunker.
Yeah, rolling it aside probably would have made your point a hell of a lot better. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. But of course, after his tremendous feat there, he doesn't really feature too greatly into the story until as you said, Liu Bei leaves the stage. In fact, one of Liu Bei's final great losses after the death of Guan Yu, Zhao Yun attempts to convince him to not go and attack them, that they need to focus on Cao Cao, and he is ignored. And after that, he and Zhuge Liang basically try to keep Liu together to varying success. I don't actually remember how it all ends for everybody. they're all gone now, but that's just how dynasties tend to go in China.
Yeah, to my memory, and to be clear, it's been a long time since I've consumed a lot of this, and the final acts of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms saga focus almost entirely on Cao Cao, because he's the guy who wins, right? That's only natural. But to my memory, Zhao Yun and Zhuge Liang do a good job of keeping things together when Liu Bei is not basically in doomer mode. But as things get worse and Cao Cao becomes more ascendant, Liu Bei is in doomer mode more and
赤坂の
more
状況
often.
は分かった
And then once Liu Bei passes, the sun takes the stage, and the sun has it's described as a simpleton. Could
Yeah.
have something to do with being thrown, and they continue to try and keep it together.
And that is simply not happening because like it's
一言交わした程度
Chinese imperial administration back then placed a lot of importance on having a strong court and a certain level of decentralization, just to make certain that the emperor or emperor stand-in has good advice and is not supposed to be the single most powerful and intelligent person all the time, because they've gone through enough administrations to know that doesn't always work.
神明を
But
見せるのは
there's like the emperor still has to be the emperor. The emperor is a simpleton, then it doesn't work.
Yeah. Not without a lot of eunuchs there to like run everything corruptly. Anyway.
龍禅様の
Yep, Liu Shan.
それのみよ
龍禅
And so apparently the baby has actually come along as well. Like, keep in mind when we were making jokes about this back then, I had no idea.
召喚され
Like, I don't even know if the DLC was out at
I
this
don't think
point.
the DLC was out. Like if this
Yeah.
is what we were joking about, this was in like fucking episode 10 or some
英雄
shit.
としての逸話を持たぬ
Like this was a
姿にて
long time ago. You're asking me to remember jokes I made a year ago at this point.
It is quite a while ago, but it wasn't quite that long ago, but still, like, we did actually reference it before the DLC came out. So the fact that, like, not only is he here, but the baby is apparently here is hilarious.
超支流
Samus feels a weird kinship and doesn't know
存在は
why.
欠かせない
The baby.
超反派の一気がけはあまりにも有名だ英霊超支流の限界に際して強力な縁が英月に揺さぶり
The
をかけた
the restraint on what the waxing moon can just chain someone into existence is extremely relaxed. So he might have even turned up here because of Zhoyu's like presence, and then on top of that, circumstances have brought along the baby as well.
Even Iori seems to be having his credulity stretched.
すぐにお迎えに上がるつ
Yeah,
もりだった
but it's not entirely it's not entirely unique to this story in Fate that something like this could happen. They often say that
あ
like
の方の気配は
Van Gogh's little brother, whom he was quite obsessed with, can possibly also be chain summoned, depending on how Van Gogh is summoned. In addition to this, when David is summoned, so is the Ark of the Covenant, I believe I have mentioned before. So it's not entirely impossible that different aspects and parts of a person's great legend would pop up along as well.
私たちを怪しみ
It's just not great.
刃を向けたというわけだな
その通りだ申し開きの余地もないところで伊織殿と言ったかそちらは怪の姿を見て
Yeah, it sucks. Good luck with it.
ああ先刻浅草で戦ったいずこかへ飛び去ってしまったが奴は江戸中の霊脈を制しそれを通じて各地に怪異を表しているまさしく神出鬼没そうたやすくは
Kind of scary to think about, though. The monster clever enough to see his ley lines. Not just like try to like consume the energy that's coming from them, but actually to seize them.
もしかして
Oh God.
ライ
Great.
ダーのマスター由小説だ
Certain circumstances, she
多
says.
様な姿となっているが
やっぱりそうね小説ちゃん
ちゃん
I'll say that.
Will?
ちゃん
でもちょっと可愛すぎるええさすがに反則ってものじゃない
God,
かし
that
ら
face.
照れちゃって可愛いわテイさん私は浅草に用事ができる
How serious she looks as she says that.
しかし
She also knows her audience because he immediately turns to to Zheng, who she knows is going to respond in an exasperated way.
それがいかなるよし
Thank God for everybody on this call, especially Shosetsu.
おそらく奴は支配した霊脈を通じて私の身に何らかの術を施したのだ。
Oh, is that what's going
このまま
on?
奴が各地で好き勝手に動き回れば、
But it asks the question,
多くの人々が同様
why?
の目に遭う。
Why Shosetsu?
Yeah, why would it bother?
新たな怪異も湧き
Because
続
it
け、
didn't do anything to Iori or to Zheng when it seized their ley lines.
やがては霊脈、霊地のすべてが奪われて、
江戸が滅びるか。
Yeah, you don't really need a, baby stealing super monster out there.
本来
We don't even know what kind of monster it is yet either.
間柄だが、どうか
Unfortunately, if you look into the mythological, let's call it pantheon of monsters, baby stealing is quite a common practice.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I was about to make the joke that it's basically a tengu that snorted not just an entire line of coke, just like an entire fucking football field of coke.
It snorted an entire baby servant by the sounds of things. That can't be great.
を受ける。ここは力を合わせるが得策でしょう。
No, I'm just gonna back off and hope it eats you both.
俺も同じ意見だ。霊脈を支配されたままでは義は立ち行かん。英月の器は霊脈の魔力を
The bird has to go. We grillin' tonight.
異変への対処が急務と考える。
You don't want to be eating a monster bird that's been having the long pork though.
元よりかの会長を逃がすつもりはないぞ。
That's personal for Saber.
3期の助力、願ってもない話だ。だが、怪を追うと言っても、いかにして。
そこは一つ当てがある。横須賀に向かいたい。横須賀？ふむ。彼女はアサシンらの本拠であろう。アサシンのマスター。Dorothea Coyet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, oh, it's Assassin's Turf, but Dorothea is pretty reasonable. Like, she's not an idiot.
江戸の南方を見て回るか。
Yeah, in this circumstances, she's probably pragmatic enough to get involved as well, and skilled
Yeah,
enough
no,
in
she-
magic work.
She would definitely
これ
be
でようやく
chill enough to just be like, yeah, all right, we'll put things on hold. It's frickin' Tsuchimikado and Burned Boy, whose name I'm
江戸の
forgetting.
北側とは言ったものの、
Chiamon.
Chiamon, yes, thank you, Chiamon. Like
Burned
it's
Boy.
Tsuchimikado and Chiamon that would probably just be like, nah, fuck you. I see what you're saying, but also fuck you.
例えば、奴が好むもの、嫌うもの、動きの癖や現れる場所の傾向、何でも構わん。
気づいたことか。奴が現れるのは決まって霊地と名高い土地だ。それだけは断言できるのだが、いつどの霊地に現れるかは読めん。
How major a spirit font are we talking about? It's like those Okay, great. Like actual central spirit fonts.
その中だったら上野かしら。ついでに周りの様子も見て
And the Ueno's a good choice.
Yeah.
上野か。よしを訪ねても。
神田に拠点を置く小説ちゃんがああなったなら、近くの霊地はすでに制圧されたものと見ます。もちろんとどまってるとは限らないのですが。
That's how it's like for those of you who are having difficulty parsing the Japanese in the background. That's how Lil
と
Shosetsu
言いたいところだが、
is getting translated. For
その前に一つ確認しておく。
Musashi has simply changed her honorific to Chan,
敵の支柱
which
に
is how you address little like
魔
little
術回
girls.
路に不調や異常はないか。
魔力の消費量はいささか多いようだが、少し楽ができなくなった程度だ。問題ない。
しかし敵も去るもの、真っ先に霊脈を抑えてくるだなんて。
霊脈の魔力に頼っていた陣営ほど痛い目を見ているだろうよ。何にしても手をこまねいてはいられん。急ぎ出立するとしよう。
it's very fortunate for Dayu that she has Musashi as her berserker, because by that point, at no point whatsoever is she going to be in danger of being sucked dry of whatever magical energy she's got. Because berserkers are magical energy consuming machines.
I suppose, like, the constant temper that they have would lend itself to that, yeah. Can you imagine trying to support Samson? Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
私と同じライダーならばまだわかるが
私自身驚いているとも生前は弓取りでも何でもなかったのでな
Classes are made up and the legends don't matter
私の知る超資料とは少しばかり雰囲気が違って見える
伝説と化した英霊の過去は
And that's sort of a big thing to remember, is that servants don't necessarily look like how they looked in life.
Yeah, the red hair definitely threw my ass.
思い、願いか
Shoyu is most famous for his performance at Red Cliffs, which was an act of a great many flame arrows.
Right.
But he actually was an incredible strategist for a great period of time. Perhaps all too soon ending for the sun, but he was still quite prolific and quite powerful. His passing, is if anything, is probably to everybody else's benefit, because he probably could have whooped everybody's ass.
Yeah, he was no joke. It's interesting when you're talking about strategists in the context of the Three Kingdoms period, because. What is that one? There's a particular quote that goes something like the measure of a general is how much maneuver they bring to temper the slaughter of war, and there were indeed a number of strategists that brought an immense amount of maneuver to the Three Kingdoms period. And it's kind of sad because a lot of those maneuvers end up getting swallowed by like the truly amazing gambits of something like Zhuge Liang, but Zhou Yu's absolutely were amazing. Peng Tong's were also amazing, but you'd only hear about just like the absolute biggest highlights, like Red Cliff. There are dozens and dozens of smaller battles that like Zhou Yu turned from a stand-up fight into just a complete rout that preserved the strength of the armies under his command, which collectively absolutely did way more than Red Cliff ever did. Those are the sorts of maneuvers that make Red Cliff possible in the first place.
Yeah, there's actually, like, I was talking about a manga I've been reading about. It's called The Ravages of Time, and it's actually kind of interesting because it's primarily like a story about Sima Yi and Zhou Yun, but it kind of recontextualizes the fiction of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms in a lot of ways, and. What is really interesting is that all these strategists that we've talked about, including Pantong and and Zhou Yun and Zhuge Liang and so forth, they're recontextualized as being part of this one school of tacticians, which was known as the Water Mirror. And each time they graduated, which was their decision to go out, they choose their lords and they begin their duels with one another. And it's like through these various plots and counterplots, and every single one, even when they're not succeeding, comes across like a genius that just was like, their specialization just like bumped up against somebody else's specialization and lost. It's really good, and Zhou Yu like basically gets the most amazing glow up because they don't just do the Red Cliff, they do a battle that happens like pretty much at the end of his life. Where Cao Cao comes back swinging, hoping to take care of him, and just ends up getting humiliated again.
Right.
Another fire attack, this time in a forest. It's just like...
Dumpstered.
確かにバーサーカーは私の方でした。
You know she's doing it intentionally.
She's absolutely doing that crap intentionally. She just likes to see Zhang and Zhou get pissed off.
これはシーリュウ殿、ここにいたか。すまない3人とも。
I don't think the Ravages of Time is going to finish in my lifetime though, because
Huh.
it's like I read like 600 chapters in like 2 weeks, and we're still Satsu's still alive.
One of those manga, then.
And if it's following Sumi Yi and fucking Zhou Yun, like it's gonna be going for a while longer yet.
Yeah, that's that. If it's going to go through that period, like at 600 chapters, it's probably not even in the back 9 yet. Like maybe it's halfway through, probably closer to it.
何かの実を施しているのかもしれんな。
Yeah, so we're heading on and we found a pile of clothes, and they're covered in like magical catalyst
血のついたわらべの衣。
that's supposed to represent blood, but not actually.
どこかで聞いた話だ。
あら、心当たりある感じ？
心当たりと言えるほど確かなものでもない。
God, I hope it's only a guess. Because if you're gonna start telling us some weird story where you know of just a bunch of reasons why children's clothes would be covered in blood, I might have to seriously reevaluate my opinion.
陰陽師の狙いは。
Well, hold that thought. We'll get our monster name soon enough, but
We've been talking too long.
unfortunately, yeah, we kind of stepped into the Omnyoji's trap that they've set to deal with the monster, it would seem.
ここは任せてくれ。
お待ちなさい。独り占めする。
I like Zhou-Yun's attacks as well. He really just comes across like an absolute blender, a force of nature. The kind of thing you could actually reasonably expect was like able to fight his way through like a mess of like cavalry and generals and the like trying to cut him and like, you know, cut him down and capture Liu Bei's like family. Like he's just like just an amazing whirlwind of destruction. Like I love this attack.
Yeah, like you used that one a fair bit. That one, the camera work on that one was what really impressed me. Oh, this should be good. Beautiful.
It is a wonderful representation of like a moment in time that has like basically become absolute legend. I'm not entirely sure if these guys were part of the trap or if they just sort of turned up because they smelled child clothing, but you know whatever.
Would be on point for Gaki, I'm afraid.
Yeah. As I said in the past, these fellas are you know, dead people who are essentially starving perpetually, and anything they put in their mouths turns to ash because they lived greedy lives.
Gaki of course.
Yeah, we'll get to see more of the fun of Gaki in Neo 2 because they're way more prevalent in that when I eventually get around to it.
Yeah, in like 2035.
Yeah, Space Marine 2 is next. I heard people asking me about that. Don't worry, everybody, it's coming. I have a new machine. Kogai got spine surgery. My computer exploded. I have a new computer. It can run Space Marine 2 well now.
Using the part of my spine I threw away as your CPU.
It's holding it up.
これで全てか。そこまで骨は折れなかったな。
あの程度の相手、どうということもなし。むしろちょうどよい。
Considering the trouble it gave Saber, and I guess you could probably assume the trap wasn't really going to work.
やってしまったものは仕方ない。おとなしく頭を下げるだけだな。己を戒めよ。
Yeah, I'm not sure that would have mattered.
そう気にすることはない。
But you know, whatever.
主の行方も生死も知れぬとなれば、誰とて心穏やかではいられない。
Eventually, they would have needed to go there to figure out this particular clue, and it was gonna trip at that point.
それでよしとしよう、ライダーよ。
まさか他でもない貴殿にそんなことを言われる日が来るとはな。
朝からの因縁が。
さて、どうだかな。ところで一つ気になっていることがあるのだが、各地で幼子をさらっている怪異も霊脈の支配を奪った怪異も古格長だとしてだ。
古格長。
幼子の霊魂を食う古格長は龍禅をも食らったということか。
Yeah,
You probably shouldn't have said that out
霊
loud.
ほどの存在でないにしろ、魔性の者としては格の低い古格長に食われるとは考えにくい。だがこの一件、何かもっと大きなものがうごめいている。
Like again, you get the questions of, well, okay, how did it seize the ley lines?
を妨げたのは
Oh, hey. The man himself.
Photo. Right.
Time to explain.
Please
what he
do,
fucked
yeah.
up.
Please do not bow your head and apologize to this dumbass.
次第は理解した。すまない、土帝殿。
Sigh.
貴殿らの
Big
策を不意
sigh.
にしてしまった。構わぬ。どの
No
道
joke.
ならぬ策であった。今の貴様らさえ捕らえられなんだなら、狙いの獲物も自ら網を抜け出したであろう。その獲物というのはやはり貴様らの想像通り、あれは古格長。大陸に住まう
Must have made quite the journey to come here to get some children to eat.
奴に霊脈を支配されたままでは英月の儀も立ち行かぬ。片付けるのは私の役儀よ。まったく面倒極まりない。
Oh my god.
一応
Yeah.
Dude.
He will be playing the fact that he is responsible for this entire ritual and also a participant in the ritual hidden for the duration of this DLC. So unfortunately, all of you who are hoping to see Caster come in and be rude as fuck, I'm afraid Caster will not be joining us for this adventure.
Frickin'
しか
Christ.
し、やは
But
り引っかかる。
Caster will be joining us for the final ending of the game, so don't worry. We will get to see some more snide bullshittery before the
Another time for me to just go literally who?
英霊に近しい霊体をも食らったかもときた。古格長はいかにしてこれほどの知恵を得た。
英霊に近しい霊体だと。
a baby one, but you know.
それについては後ほど私から話す。事情は知らぬが、魔力を秘めた宝でも手にしたか、知恵を持つよりしろでも得たか、あるいは英霊の類と混ざることで力を得たか。
By
そんな
merging.
ことが起こり得るのか。ありえざる量の怪異にあふれる現
Yeah,
在の
well,
江戸
the waxing moon has basically made it so anything can fucking happen.
What a freaking crackerjack operation
お
this
さらい
entire
食ら
ritual
う
is.
怪異などと
Ave no Seime, you have so much to answer for.
すればどうしたバーサーカー。
何か思いついたってわけじゃないのですが、私も私で気になることが出てきたかも。悪いけど私は一度吉原に戻るわ。後のことはテイさんたちに任せます。
待てバーサーカー。まったくまたこれか。
Remember who you're talking to, dude.
まあなんだ、とにかくいろいろと申し訳なかった。罠の設置と古格長の討伐には人手がいるはずだ。詫びと言ってはなんだが、俺たちも手伝おう。
Sounds like a giant waste of time.
さすがは名高き国船屋殿。仁義というものを心得ているようだ。あとは従者たちの行動を御す器量さえあればよかったんだがな。
He He's not in command of this freaking clown car.
I just love fucking Shoyu's face that entire time. He's just like maximum scrutinizing the shit out of Yasuhiro.
変えるのか何故もともとこの地に余生をまかんとしたのはここを根城としていた唯小説が古格長に目をつけられていたからだ目をつけられていた確かに幼き姿となっていたが霊脈を介してわざわざ肉体を返事させた
I suppose that does raise a question as well. A monster that steals children turns somebody into a child.
Right, like it feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy thing, which just kind of goes back to my original question. Why would it bother?
Does it desire to eat Shisetsu because homunculuses are a large, bountiful source of energy, but then you don't necessarily have to turn them into a child to do. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is a question. It will get explained, but you know, like I'm just positing how strange it is.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're heading back to there.
Musashi's gut was correct on a matter other than what's for dinner.
Look, when it comes to being in the right place at an extremely late time, Musashi's an expert.
Huh.
くしくももともと向かわんとしていた土地だ
Usually it's more intentional than that, but you know, whichever.
Well, there is that matter of the Onimusha game being announced with a young Miyamoto Musashi being
I still can't
the
believe
protagonist.
that announcement actually came.
だが今なお霊脈は敵の手の内
It looks like it starts with one of the more famous moments of Musashi's earlier days of being like a pain in the ass, where he had humiliated a particular school of swordsmen so repeatedly that they essentially had no other heads of the household except for like a young child, and then like challenged him to a duel with the child, and then just like hit this massive ambush, and we're like, when he turns up late, we're all just gonna jump out of the bushes and stab him, not realizing that Musashi had actually gotten there earlier before they arrived, had hidden there, and then he jumped down and cut the child down.
And then ran
and
away.
then ran, so they couldn't say he ran away from the duel.
He did the duel, he just didn't do the ambush. It's a very strong I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy vibes from the entire situation.
They haven't explicitly said that's what that scene is, but just like when I think of a large mob of people all trying to kill one guy, I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure it's that sequence.
There weren't too many particular instances like that in Musashi's life. As much as he trolled the entirety of Japan's heartland, he didn't usually have gank squads after him.
Or in the instances when like people did set ambushes for him, he usually made sure he traveled with somebody where it would be a really bad idea to like, you know, either ambush Musashi or to kill the person involved who was a witness. So he basically would be able to get out of there pretty well. He's he was like, you know, at least in the stories was just a master of misbehavior
and reading the room. Like that was the thing that always impressed me when I was reading about Musashi's particular exploits like that. In addition to being a martial arts master, he was also a social arts master in that he could absolutely just read a room and read the situation. Like open book. You couldn't mess with him.
And hey, we have a new monster type.
Is that basically supposed to be a Yuki-onna because of all of the snow?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool.
this is a artificial Yuki-onna. It's probably the best way to put it. It definitely we'll call it a puppet based on the Yuki-onna. But yes, it is it is very ice related.
I have
and it has
so
a whole
many
slew
bad
of new
memories
moves.
of Yuki-onna from the first Neo.
She definitely beat her asses pretty
Beat
hard.
my ass particularly bad.
Oh no! Like whenever I would play Neo, I'd get to the Yuki-Onna boss fight and just be like, oh, this is gonna be here for a while.
Wang did a pretty good job of it at the time he was doing a stream through just by specializing in ninjutsu and just using the ultimate bomb prank, like just absolutely abusively.
Yeah.
Like okay, great. I'm not even messing with it. I hate that fight. You want to just throw bombs? Be my guest.
I've always found it's a fight that you have to generally finish in like the first 30 seconds, or you are going to be in a very dangerous stance for the rest of it. Still winnable, but not easy.
これも古拡張の力の一端か？
十中八九、そうだろうな。霊脈の魔力で怪異を強化しているのか。
紫龍殿の腕ならば問題なかろうが、念のため様子を見に行ってみるか。あーちゃん、今世においても馬の合う主に恵まれたようだな。対して私は
Kindred Liege is understated with what we saw at the Kang Command Championship. Like fucking blowing your wish, just be like, hey, I wish you were a real boy. Fuck, man. That is some true blue shit.
I think we still have one or two more enemy types yet to see as well. Which is kind of interesting. I believe we're going to get to see like another enemy type here shortly.
Yosh, これでいい。あとは寛永寺に戻り合流を。怪異の気配か。放っておくことはできぬな。
I know in terms of like Dynasty Warriors games, which is I kind of feel like they put him in just partially because you know the team who made this game were also like a team that makes like Dynasty Warriors games, and I know Shogun has appeared on like at the cover of more than one Dynasty Warriors, if I remember correctly.
Big true.
I do need to play Origins sometime. It's the new Dynasty Warriors game. Apparently, it's really, really good.
It's been a long time since Dynasty Warriors have been the Dynasty Warriors games have really entertaining, but I have heard that Origins kind of cuts through a lot of the crap and gets back to the PS2 era. Eight is a big word. Like he's handling this just fine, but there's a lot of idiots, and it would really be great if you had a couple extra set of hands to make the idiot killing go faster.
Just got to gonna kill these. And who knows? Maybe they'll reveal another enemy. Eventually, I'll show off some of the other ones, but I just like. I just like doing this. We'll have plenty more fights. This particular one is very fight heavy. Like in the lead up to.
Dude, that butt slam. It looks so freaking goofy. Like I'm sorry, I don't have any other words for it.
Ah, look, they only have size, and they might as well use their size to their advantage.
Actually, I think the reason why it messes with me is because they go down so directly, and I just can't help but thinking, boy, that is exactly the sort of thing that's just gonna break your ass bone. Like that is how you break an ass. Just stomping your ass down on friggin' stone like that.
This actually always reminds me when you put it like that of one particular wrestler, Bubba Ray Dudley, the Dudley Boys fame as a wrestler, and he had this move called the Bubba Bomb, and he kind of like sort of underhook their arms, kind of full Nelson style, haul them up, and then do like a sitting drive so that they like land like sitting as he lands sitting, and it always looked like he took the whole move, which is great. Like if you're trying not to injure the other person, fantastic. But it's just like that man must just have like the most broken ass in wrestling.
Yeah, like that. I remember this particular move, and it looked amazing when I was actually watching wrestling in like my teens or whatever. But nowadays I'm just sort of like, boy, I really hope you never ever did that out of the ring. I never saw him do it out of the ring, but like trying to do that on something that doesn't have springs under it, the way a wrestling ring does. Just like you would absolutely break your tailbone, or even worse, just like crack one of your lower vertebra, and it's just like fuck, dude. That was exactly the sort of thing that Twitch got friggin' sued for a couple of years back because they had that stupid ass ball pit that was like 6 inches deep.
That person just fell and cracked their ass. There was there's another thing also about the same wrestler, Bubba Ray Dudley. He was also like if you ever like watched him in his heyday, I'm sure he probably can very easily still do it now. I'm pretty sure he still wrestles. He would like powerbomb people through tables, and like he would basically do it in such a way it looked insane. But he would basically take most of that table himself, again, to the arse. And he was like powerbombing like 70, 80-year-old women through, and they would be fine. I'm pretty sure he has put like the late great Mae Young through like a table like probably like 4 or 5 times throughout his career.
What a legend of technique if he's able to put octogenarians through wrestling tables safely, though. It is worth noting that they do use special tables that are designed to break. It's not like you're throwing them on normal particle boards or normal pressed wood. You're still getting thrown onto wood, though, so like there is a non-trivial impact. Throwing a 70 or 80-year-old through, like that's a lot, man.
Mae Young was incredible. She would just go for literally anything. Like, she was just like, yeah, fucking kill me, it's cool. Also, during the Attitude Era, very famous for just taking her top off. She was very, very old then, too.
True.
So yeah, on that note, on that strange note, we now know what we're up against. Sort of. There's still a lot of questions about how a minor phantasmal beast is eating like baby servants and eating ley lines and basically flying around kicking everyone's shit in. So we've got some more problems that we need to find solutions to, and more answers to questions we need to go hunting for. And next time we'll be catching up with Musashi, I believe, as she continues her investigation into the strange occurrence she believes has happened in Yoshiwara that will lend a little more credence as to what exactly is motivating the behavior of this Kakacho. And so, until then, I've been the Last Robokai.
And I have been Cool Guy.
And we will see you all next time for some more Fate Samurai Remnant, Bylong and the Crimson Demon. See you all next time.